Well, we're watching an amazing thing unfolding before us. It's called an election, and an unlikely candidate who has been beat up by everybody seems to be unstoppable. But Donald scored 3 more wins in the Republican primaries yesterday, and he captured the biggest prize of the day, which was Michigan.
Yes, also in Michigan, Democratic Senator Bernie Sanders won a shocking upset over frontrunner Hillary Clinton. George Thomas brings us this look at where the race stands after Tuesday's primaries.
The Trump train keeps on steamrolling ahead.
Well, thank you very much, everyone. This was an amazing evening.
The Republican frontrunner swept to victories in Michigan, Mississippi, and Hawaii, all in a week that saw his rivals and outside groups going after him with attack ads.
I don't think I've ever had so many horrible, horrible things said about me in 1 week.
As in other primaries so far, Republican voter turnout continues to be extremely high.
No matter where you go, it's records. I think it's actually the single biggest story in politics today. It's what's happening at the booth.
And what's happening at the booth is that voters are telling pollsters they are anxious about the economy, immigration, and are downright angry at the way Washington is working. In fact, on these issues, exit polls show a majority of voters want an outsider like Trump to fix the mess in the nation's capital.
I understand the people who are supporting Donald Trump. You're angry.
Meanwhile, Texas Senator Ted Cruz continues to position himself as the chief alternative to Donald Trump.
If you're fed up with the corruption of Washington, the answer is not supporting someone who has been funding and profiting off of that Washington corruption for decades.
Cruz kept Trump from winning a sweep of the Tuesday primaries with a win in Idaho, while Ohio Governor John Kasich had a strong showing in Michigan. But Cruz edged him out in a very close race for second. Florida Senator Marco Rubio, who has won only 2 contests so far and was pegged by some in the Republican establishment as the party's best alternative to Trump, had a terrible night Tuesday, placing a distant 3rd or 4th. So here's where the Republican race stands today. Trump now has 446 delegates, Cruz has 347, Rubio 151, and Kasich 54. On the Democratic side, a shocker as Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders pulled off a surprising upset victory in Michigan, despite polls showing frontrunner Hillary Clinton with a sizable lead before the vote. That gives the 74-year-old the boost he needs to fight another day.
Let's show the world that democracy is alive and well with a huge voter turnout.
But Clinton demolished Sanders with a landslide win in Mississippi, with huge help from black voters.
America belongs to all of us, not just those who are already successful. I want to be the president, not for those who are already successful. They don't need me. I want to be the president for the struggling and the striving.
As it stands now, Clinton has 1,221 delegates, Sanders 571. But the big test for Republicans comes next week in the winner-takes-all contests in Florida, Ohio, and Missouri, along with the big states of Illinois and North Carolina.
The March 15th primaries could go a long way in deciding the winner in the race for the Republican nomination. Or if Kasich wins his home state of Ohio or Rubio wins Florida, well, it could mean the Republican race will keep on going even longer. George Thomas, CBN News.
You know, Donald Trump isn't asking me for suggestions, but my suggestion would be if he's looking for somebody who can get things done, he ought to team up with John Kasich and run as a team with Kasich as vice president. If he wants to have a, quote, politician to get things done, Kasich's the man to make it happen.
Yeah, because he has said, Trump has said he wants someone who has experience.
Exactly.
Yeah,
he said it to me sitting across the table.
Well, let me ask you, what happened in Idaho? I mean, Trump didn't do too well there.
They're conservative. I mean, you know, they grow a lot of potatoes in Idaho, and they've got a lot of ranchers in Idaho, and it's a beautiful state, but it's a small state. And in a small state like that, evangelicals come to the fore, and the evangelicals have gone for Cruz. So I think that's what happens. But the bottom line is, wherever there's an open primary where the Democrats can come in and vote, and they vote for Trump. And he just is sweeping the country. And, you know, I don't know what happened to Kasich. He was, not Kasich, but Rubio. He was considered the alternative, the establishment candidate, and then all of a sudden he began to say funny things in these debates, and you know, he got hammered pretty much by the governor of New Jersey. I mean, hammered, and he had a meltdown, and he's never really recovered. There's some who think he has no base and that he really ought to withdraw prior to Florida, because even if he wins Florida, which may be unlikely, so what? Where does he go? But if he loses Florida, he's withdrawn from the Senate. I don't know what is happening next. He's an extraordinarily able person, and I hate to see something like that happen.
I doubt he'll pull out before Florida, because I think he's putting all his cards on the table there.
But I tell you, the team would be Trump and Kasich, and I don't know if the Donald is thinking that way, but if he wants somebody who really knows how to make government work, who really knows the budget cold, who really can deal with these arcane policies, Kasich's the man. He is an extremely able person, and he'd, of course, make a tremendous president. But who knows? He'll win Ohio. He's coming in fairly well. I think they say Cruz can't seemingly get anything much past the evangelicals. He gets very strong support from evangelicals. And that leaves Kasich and Trump. But Trump is, it astounds me. I think it astounds everybody. And it looks like he's got a clear shot at the nomination the way things are going.